Welcome to the Fnn Sports Zone. I'm your host, Mike Brodsky, and joining me remotely is
Jermaine Kimbrough.
And we're going to be talking all things sports tonight. We're going to be talking about the NFL action this past weekend. We're going to be talking about college football, including the playoffs and some of the controversies surrounding everything that's going on with the CFP selection committee. We're also going to be talking about the NBA. We're going to talk about soccer and even the latest baseball Hall of Famer. But why don't we go ahead and get started with a little bit of NFL. It was a rainy weekend for some of the Florida teams. Jermaine, were you at the game on Sunday?
Yes, and it was a huge rain show. It was pouring down pretty much the entire game, and only got worse and worse as the time went on.
Yeah, it was a rough game also up in Jacksonville. I was up there for the Jaguars game. So why don't we go ahead and get started? You want to talk about the Bucks this weekend? It was kind of a rough game for them.
Yeah, it was a rough one. Yeah, it definitely was. I mean, obviously nasty weather, but a bad outcome as well. It was tough. It was against the Saints, which you would expect we would have a pretty, good handle on that game. And unfortunately, it was the total opposite, and it was kind of a back and forth, but ended up coming down to the wire, like a lot of the Tampa games do, and unfortunately, it went the wrong way, and they just could not capitalize. Baker came up short, just trying to get the ball, Kate Otten, and it was just a short ball, and he just couldn't get it to him right. And at the same time, he wasn't even there at the first down line, so he was short anyway, but. We talked. It was a rough finish, but we had some questioning in the press conference, and Baker said it was on him. He's just got to make a better play there. But there's also the aspect of Emeka Egbuka had a chance for a go-ahead touchdown and tie it, and unfortunately dropped the pass. And it wasn't a perfect ball, but definitely something that he got his hands on. He should have came down with. So we got it. We talked with him as well afterwards in the locker room, and he was just heartbroken from that. So tough game for the Bucs fans for sure.
Yeah, the Saints beat them 24-20. On the Saints side, rookie quarterback Tyler Show ran for 2 touchdowns. Certainly an upset. I don't think anybody would have expected that the Bucs would lose to the Saints, but they did. So the Bucs now fall to 7-6, while the Saints are at 3-10. And also for the Bucs, it was the 4th loss in 5 games, right? So that was kind of surprising as well. But now they are tied with Carolina for first in the NFC South, and they're going to be going head-to-head twice in the final 3 games of the season against Carolina. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But for Tyler Show. He finished with 144 yards passing and 55 yards rushing with an interception, while Baker Mayfield had 122 yards passing on 14 for 30 passing with an interception as well. And so I guess folks can go on the Florida National News Facebook page and see some of the press conferences and the interviews that you did. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct. And I got a question with Baker as well, just asking him what he thought about the final decision, and that was where he kind of spoke. That's where he spoke a little bit more on what he saw on the field and kind of what the play was, and he went through the choice route that was there and all that. So you'll be able to see more of that content, and we heard from Coach Todd Bowles as well. So it was a rough game to say the least. Just something where from a playoff standing perspective, it was really one of those games where you just had to win it. It's one of those layup games where it's like, look, just get a win somehow.
Yeah,
and it just seemed like they just didn't wake up for it. They just didn't seem ready, and that's what happens. Human nature. You're like, oh, we should have this game, and it's like then the other team comes out balling, and you're just back at that point.
Yeah, that can happen. On the bright side for the other 2 Florida teams, certainly it was a better weekend. The Jaguars did beat the Colts 36-19. So the Jaguars at 9 4 now are at the top of the AFC South, so that's good news. The Colts slipped to 8-5. Now, again, a rainy day in Jacksonville at Everbank Stadium. Trevor Lawrence threw for 2 touchdown passes, 244 yards. Travis Etienne ran for 2 touchdowns and 74 yards rushing. It was the 4th consecutive win for the Jags. So that was Colts lost 11 in a row. 11 in a row in Jacksonville, which was kind of crazy. They haven't been at Everbank Stadium since, and I think it was probably Tia Bank Stadium back in the day. Going all the way back to 2014 was the last time they won in Jacksonville. Now, the bad news for Colts fans is that Daniel Jones limped off the field with an injured Achilles tendon in the second quarter, and he will be out for the season. His season's over. So it was really a shame because Daniel Jones.
I saw that update a little while ago.
You saw that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a non-contact injury. He just slipped because of the rain. Yeah. I really believe the rain probably had something to do with that injury there. Riley Leonard came in, and so tough news for the Colts, obviously losing Daniel Jones. But meanwhile, for the Jags, Trevor Lawrence connected with Jacoby Myers and Tim Patrick for those touchdown passes. And he even had some long passes to Brian Thomas Jr. I know some folks had kind of questioned what was going on with BTJ. He wasn't having the same kind of a season that he had last year, but this game he was on fire. I mean, he really did a lot better. He led the team with 3 receptions for 87 yards receiving. Josh Hines-Allen also had a sack for his 4th consecutive game, scoring a safety when he took down Riley Leonard. And the Jags are going to be hosting the New York Jets on Sunday coming up on the 14th. So, I mean, did you see anything else with that game? Were you watching it at all?
Yeah, well, I did not watch the game, but I did catch some of the highlights, and I was checking out some of it. But I was also watching with Daniel Jones. I mean, I saw he was just heartbroken on the side. I mean, I think, slamming his helmet. He was visibly super upset. Sometimes they're just in pain and they're in agony, and crying. But he was more of like just seemed to be so upset because of how amazing this season has been for them. Obviously, some down lately, but I mean, I think he was just so upset because he knew from that point that he knew his season was over, I believe.
Oh, yeah. And, I mean, it was one of those things where he was already playing with a bit of a leg injury, and then the other leg tore that Achilles, and he knew right away. I mean, you could see the way he was reacting and limping off the field. It was bad. It was bad. In the press box, they announced that it was a torn Achilles within like a matter of a couple of minutes. So they obviously got a good look at him and very quickly knew it's the Achilles. He's done. He's out. So that was unfortunate news.
Yeah. And I just saw it came up. I just got the update too, and they're bringing in Philip Rivers into the building. They're actually going to see about possibly adding him to the practice squad. So I don't know. I thought he was at home with all his kids or something, just hanging out, but they're bringing him in. I guess he's interested.
That's interesting. I had not heard that. Philip Rivers, would be great to see him back on the field. But for Riley Leonard, obviously a rookie quarterback, great opportunity for Riley Leonard, but certainly to have Philip Rivers, as part of that team couldn't hurt.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if it's veteran presence or what, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah, we shall see. Stay tuned. And meanwhile, for the Dolphins beat the Jets 34-10. So the Dolphins are actually now at 6-7, while the Jets are at 3-10. It was the 4th straight win for the Dolphins. They are 2 games out of the final AFC wildcard playoff spot. So if they keep winning, in theory, they could sneak into the playoffs. Devon Achane went out with a rib injury in the first half of the game. Jalen Wright took over and ended with a career-high 107 yards and his first NFL touchdown. Achane ended with 92 yards and a touchdown before he left early with that injury there. Tua didn't really need to do much. I mean, he was 13 for 21 passing, 127 yards and a touchdown before Zach Wilson took over at quarterback. Meanwhile, for the Jets, quarterback Tyrod Taylor left injured in the first quarter. Brady Cook took over at quarterback for the Jets. Apparently, Justin Fields is injured and unable to play. And for the Dolphins, they're going to be facing the Steelers in Pittsburgh Monday night, December 15th, a week from tonight. And so we'll see. We'll see if they're able to somehow keep winning or another loss or two, and maybe they're out of the picture. But as of right now,
Yeah.
they're still alive.
Yeah, I mean, they're inching their way.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it. I mean, it's all you can do. They're doing what they need to do. They're getting those victories. So we'll see.
Yep.
And of course, speaking of the Steelers did beat the Ravens 27-22. Aaron Rodgers threw for 284 yards and a touchdown. He also ran for a touchdown. It was his first rushing touchdown since 2022. It's been a while since he's had one of those. And the Steelers, meanwhile, took first place in the AFC North with that victory. And for Lamar Jackson, he ended with 219 yards passing, 43 yards rushing. Also had a passing touchdown and a rushing touchdown, but it just wasn't enough for the win. Derrick Henry finished with 94 yards rushing. And, of course, as we mentioned, Pittsburgh is going to host the Dolphins next Monday night. But what were your thoughts about I know you're kind of a Lamar Jackson fan, Ravens fan, but what did you think about that game?
Yeah, I mean, well, for me, I already know the rivalry of it all, and I'm, being a Washington fan, they're right across the way, right there on the Beltway. So I still like to root for them every now and then, and obviously hope that they do well. They're not necessarily a rival, but I have my brother-in-law is actually a Pittsburgh fan, so he's like huge on the Steelers and all that, and we usually talk a lot of trash, but they had a great game. I mean, they came out and they really had to answer the call because, with everything happening on the last couple of weeks and with Mike Tomlin and all this, they had to answer that they really had to come back with a kind of like back up their coach type of thing. Like, they know that if they're not doing a good job, it's not always on the coaches. Sometimes it's on the players. And so I feel like they really had to speak up and really come out and just play well and get a W. So they did that.
Yeah, hopefully it keeps Tomlin around a little bit longer at least. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
And moving on to the Bills. What were we going to say?
No, I just said hopefully, yeah. Let's see what happens.
Hopefully, yeah. Absolutely. Let's move on to the Bills. The Bills ended up beating the Bengals 39-34. That was an interesting one, too. The Bills came back to win after being down 10 points in the fourth quarter. Josh Allen threw for 3 touchdowns, ran for another, and Christian Benford scored the go-ahead touchdown on a 63-yard pick six. Josh Allen's 40-yard touchdown run also broke his own record for the longest by a Bills quarterback. He finished with 251 yards passing and 78 yards rushing. Meanwhile, Joe Burrow was intercepted on consecutive plays from scrimmage. He ended with 284 passing yards and 4 touchdowns, but just not enough. So the Bengals slipped to 4-9, while the Bills are at 9-4. So, and
it was a close game.
Did you get a chance to catch any of that one?
Yeah, well, I was catching it like as I was watching the games. I was catching it on the red zone, and it was kind of back and forth. I mean, Burrow had a chance there. It was a super tight game all the way up until the end. So the turnovers just killed them. I mean, just way too many turnovers, and but it's Cincinnati, but you got Burrow, but you expected that eventually the Bills would find a way to finish that game off, and they did.
Yeah. So it was an interesting one, and then another interesting one too was the Seahawks blowing out the Falcons 37-9. Seahawks now at 10-3, while the Falcons slipped to 4-9. But Rashid Shaheed returned the second half kickoff, 100 yards for a touchdown. Sam Darnold threw for 249 yards and 3 touchdowns. 2 of those were to Jackson Smith-Njigba. JSN had 92 yards receiving. Meanwhile, Kirk Cousins ended up with 162 yards passing, no touchdowns. The Falcons' points were really just 3 field goals by kicker Zane Gonzalez. That was all they got. So it's been kind of a bit of a rough season for the Falcons. I think folks might have expected a little bit more out of them, but it is what it is. What were your thoughts about that game?
Not much. I wasn't really following it too much, but I'm definitely surprised by those stats, though. I didn't realize. I didn't realize that.
He was the only one to score for the Falcons. It was just just his foot and those field goals, and even missed a field goal there too. But anyway,
I was watching. I watched it like for just a moment when we were because we had taken a halftime break too, and I was kind of checking it out in the press box. And I was just like, I mean, trying to see if Kirk Cousins had anything going, and I didn't see. I mean, it didn't look great from what I saw. So
Yeah.
but I didn't see the whole thing. So that's good to know. I mean, that's good to know, but they don't seem to be making a lot of headway right now.
It certainly seems that way, yeah.
Yeah.
And another big surprise too. I don't know if you happen to catch any of the Titans Browns game, but I know they were certainly talking about that in the press
Yeah.
box up in Jacksonville. The Titans got their
Yeah.
second victory of the season. They beat the
Yeah.
Browns
Crazy.
31-29.
Yeah.
Uh, Tony Pollard rushed for a career high 161 yards and 2 touchdowns, while Cam Ward threw for 2 touchdowns and 117 yards. The Titans basically stopped a 7-game losing streak with that victory. Meanwhile, Shadur Sanders passed for 364 yards and 3 touchdowns, and he also scrambled into the end zone for a rushing touchdown. I don't know if you happen to catch that replay, but he kind of got around the defenders. It was an interesting run. And did you catch that one as well?
Yeah, no, I did. I watched that game. I did see. I watched all the highlights at least. I was able to catch that, and yeah, I mean, he had a phenomenal game, and it just felt like he deserved to win that game. But Coach pulled him out, and he's getting a lot of heat for it, of course. Just because of the fact, they had the first 2-point conversion. They went up and took, which was also already kind of questionable. There was kind of a fumbled snap by Shadur, and it didn't work out. It didn't work. It crapped out or whatever. So the second one they went for, which they also didn't really need to go for it, but they go for it, and they pull Shadur out. They do a reverse, they did like a what do you call it? Like a I'm trying to think of the Wildcat. Thank you.
Wildcat.
Wildcat. They do this reverse play that just also didn't work, and it looked like what's his name didn't even know what the play. He forgot what he was supposed to do. So and it's
it was a little messy. A little messy.
It was messy, but it made you feel like, okay, like as a coach, right? You have to think, okay, does it make sense to pull my best playmaker, right, quarterback, out of the game, or leave him in and try something with him in control of the ball? So it's like you have a fumble snap, okay, those things happen, right? But that doesn't mean you pull him out, and it's such a pivotal moment of the game in that time to then run a wildcat. I thought it was a questionable call from the get-go. Very strange to me.
Right.
But anybody can say in hindsight, right, when it doesn't work, there's always going to be that backlash. If it would have worked, he'd have been a hero, I'm sure.
Yeah.
We would have never heard anything about it.
That's right. Well, it didn't quite work out, but some good news, at least for the Browns. Myles Garrett also got his 20th sack of the season, becoming the 13th player to reach that mark since it became an official stat in 1982. He is 3 sacks away from the single-season record of 22 and a half. So we'll see if he's able to pull that off. So hopefully some good news coming for Cleveland fans.
He didn't want to talk about any of that at the press conference. He was just upset from the loss, and he was just upset. He was just mad. He's like, look, we don't care about none of that. We got the loss. We had a loss. Who cares? And which is what you want from
that's true. Hopefully, if he does break the record, he'll do it when they actually win a game. Let's hope. Let's hope.
Exactly. Right.
That's right. That's right. We'll see what happens. So, and meanwhile, for the Vikings and against your Commanders, I feel your pain, Jermaine, because I know that it was.
I thought we were going to skip
a rough game.
I thought we were going to
skip that one.
I just thought we would skip it because it was just such it was like barely any points.
You want to skip the whole thing?
Might as well just skip the whole thing. No, it's all right. It's all good. We can talk about it. All right, I'll go through the agony.
You want me to cover this one if you want to just sit?
No, it's all good. It's cool. No, we can do it. Let's go. We'll do it.
Okay. We'll talk about for the Vikings. J.J. McCarthy did throw a career high 3 touchdown passes, and it also gave the Commanders their eighth straight loss. But for Jaden Daniels, he was really playing for the first time since dislocating his non-throwing elbow, and he ended up leaving the game in the third quarter with an injury to that elbow. So Coach Dan Quinn said Jaden could have returned, but I think the coach decided to just keep him on the sideline and let Marcus Mariota continue playing. So,
yes.
What are your thoughts? You're a Jaden Daniels fan. Do you think they should bring him back next week, or what do they do with him at this point?
I mean, before I even get to him, I mean, it was just such a terrible game all the way around, from not being able to just, get down the field and score, to just, the defense just giving up back to just so many back-to-back plays. I mean, we were not good as a unit, and it showed. And then from there, it was like the whole Jaden Daniels thing. It was a tip ball, so it wasn't necessarily like a terrible pick. It was just a tip ball. I forget who it was who picked it off, but then Jaden Daniels is running, chasing him, trying to just do something to help with stopping at least a pick six. And which is why they tell quarterbacks, don't chase anybody, just go down or get out of the way. That's why they say that. But he gets knocked down by somebody trying to block him. And he falls like awkwardly, like it almost looked like he had no choice because he's running so fast. And he falls on his back, like on his shoulder, basically. So I don't know how exactly that injury is looking yet. No updates really that I know of. I know they had to cut off that brace right when he came to the sideline when they put him in the blue tent. But it was crazy. It was almost like not long after that, we then had Zach Ertz. He ends up going down.
Yes.
And then he's out for the season, confirmed. Terrible injury.
Horrible. Yeah, that one looked ugly. That was, yeah.
I mean,
it was a rough game. Rough game certainly for the Commanders. I mean, they're now at 3-10. Meanwhile, the Vikings are at 5-8. But 31-0. I mean, just a complete blowout and
blowout. Yeah.
It's been rough. It's been rough for the Commanders. So I feel your pain, Jermaine.
Huge difference from last season. So look, we got one good season out of the organization. So look, I'm going to take what I got last year, and then we're just going to move forward. Hopefully
run with that.
We're going to run with that. Hopefully next season's a better one.
Let's hope. Hopefully by then Jaden will be completely healed and everything will be fine and dandy. But another interesting game. Denver ended up beating the Raiders 24-17. Denver's now at 11-2. Las Vegas, of course, slips to 2-11. But with the win, the Broncos have put themselves in a pretty good spot for the number one seed in the AFC. They actually claimed the tiebreaker over the Patriots if they both finished with the same record. So it was the 10th consecutive win for the Broncos, led of course by Bo Nix. And there was some controversy over possible rigging by whoever might be doing the rigging. But after a Broncos delay of game penalty allowed the Raiders to kick a meaningless field goal.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
You saw that, right? It caused them to cover the 7.5 point spread, which angered many bettors. As a matter of fact, Dave Portnoy of Barstool Sports basically called for Raiders head coach Pete Carroll to be murdered. So, I mean, a little bit extreme, kind of an extreme reaction. But what were your thoughts about that?
Well, yeah, I mean, I thought it was also crazy because typically you don't usually see them, like, they have options where it's like, okay, what are you going to do? Are you going to kick a field goal? Are you going to try to go for a Hail Mary, or just run out the clock at this point, since it's just like a 99% chance you're not going to win the game. And I know sometimes when there's a little extra time, they'll go for one of those. But typically when there's that only a few seconds on the clock, you just see them run out the rest of that time, or they'll throw off a Hail Mary pass, just see what happens. Never just kick a field goal, though, with only a few seconds. The seconds are going to run out anyway. So it's like, I don't think I've ever seen that. So very, very strange stuff. And it so happened to happen in Vegas, too, which makes it even more strange, we'll just say.
That's true. So anyway, obviously some controversy. For folks who are bettors, there was just certainly a lot of talk all over X, all over social media related to that. But we'll move on to the Green Bay Chicago game. The Packers beat the Bears 28-21. Green Bay is now at 9-3-1, while Chicago's at 9-4. Jordan Love had 3 more touchdowns, moving the Packers into first place in the NFC North. Love's four-game streak without an interception ended, but he did manage to surpass 3,000 yards this season, along with 22 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. Caleb Williams, meanwhile, ended with 186 yards passing and 2 touchdowns, plus 15 yards rushing. But it was a 4th down throw that was intercepted in the end zone that really ended the game for the Bears. Did you happen to catch any of that one?
Yeah, I caught some of it, and it was a great game. I just recalled Jacobs, kind of finishing it off with that run into the end zone, and just putting it away. But I know that Caleb was making some great plays.
Yeah.
He was escaping the pocket. I mean, he honestly has been looking really, really good. So it was a great battle, and we expected a really good game, and we definitely got that.
Yep. Yeah, both teams look good. I mean, certainly Caleb and Jordan both look fantastic anyway. So we shall see how the rest of the season plays out for both teams. And the LA Rams beat Arizona 45-17. Matt Stafford had his 7th game of the season with 3 or more passing touchdowns, which is the most in the NFL. Wide receiver Puka Nacua had 6 catches for 136 yards and a touchdown in the first half, which was actually his best half of his career and the most yards for a Rams player since Cooper Kupp in 2019 for half of the game. And Jacoby Brissett actually threw for 271 yards and 2 touchdowns plus an interception. But the injuries have really hurt the Cardinals this season. It also was confirmed that Kyler Murray, who's been out, I believe, since week 6, is definitely confirmed out for the rest of the season. So not looking great for Arizona. At 3-10, I don't think they have a shot at doing much of anything anyway, but that is unfortunate. The Rams, meanwhile, are 10-3, so we'll see where they end up. But any thoughts about that game?
I mean, honestly, just Matt Stafford just still playing at a all world level. Puka just doing what he does, and that connection is just continuing to make historic moves and continuing to grow. So I think we're going to see a lot more of them, and they're just going to be that dangerous team. And it's almost like if they do it, it's almost like they're great, but they're always kind of like quietly ascending and continuing to be consistent. So they're just playing great right now. Between them and New England, I mean, they've been playing great football.
Absolutely. And we'll also talk about Houston beating Kansas City 20-10. I mean, the Texans, C.J. Stroud threw for 203 yards and a touchdown. Nico Collins had 121 receiving yards. Meanwhile, Patrick Mahomes threw for 160 yards on 14 for 33 passing, with 59 yards rushing. But mistakes were made, and even Coach Andy Reid took responsibility for the 4th-and-1 play that backfired, basically, and certainly gave the Texans the winning touchdown soon after that. So could the Chiefs' 10-year streak of making the playoffs end this season? It's kind of looking that way. They're at 6-7. I mean, they really got to pretty much win out to have a shot at this point.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, from what it looks like, I mean, things have to shake in their favor, and they got to win out. So they're already kind of in that stage where they're going to have to likely rely on a couple of teams to, either win or lose. So we're going to see people. I mean, the AFC's just been strong, and so there's a lot of changes going around. But I saw that play. I was watching it last night, and that play to Kelsey, that's the one I'm thinking about right now. Is he just has it in his hands and he just drops the ball. There's a couple 4th down plays. They had a couple chances, but man, that Kelsey play was rough. I mean, he's just wide open. He's just got to catch the ball, and there's so many stars on that team. Just they didn't come away with what they usually do in these big moments. It didn't look like the same team. It really didn't, and so the Chiefs just don't look the same. They don't look like themselves. Um, I guess we'll see what happens. They have they have a favorable schedule upcoming. I know they have some
Mhm.
tough teams. They got they have some opportunities where they could win
Mhm.
out, but
Right.
they're going to need a massive shift right now on both sides of the
Yes.
ball.
Yeah. And also for Kelsey, I mean, he was really upset. I know that he actually did not talk to the press after the game. He just kind of sat there, head in hands, and
Yeah,
took it pretty rough. And some people have even started to speculate whether he might decide to maybe announce a retirement at the end of the season. Who knows? I mean, obviously, everyone's kind of hoping that he sticks around. He certainly has the ability
right.
to stick around another year or two or three if he wanted to. But people are starting to question what he might decide to do. So stay tuned for
Yeah,
that. And of
yeah.
course, tonight we got Philadelphia Eagles playing the LA Chargers at 8:15. That game's coming up pretty soon here. Thursday night, Atlanta will be taking on Tampa Bay at 8:15. Are you going to get out to that game, Jermaine?
Yes, yes. I will be there
Yes.
Thursday night to cover.
Great.
So I will
Okay.
be there.
Excellent.
I'll be there early. Yeah, absolutely. So I'll
Very
be
good.
there to cover. I think myself and Willie also will be there for sure.
Terrific. Okay, so we'll definitely have some coverage on Florida National News. You can certainly check out both the website and the Facebook page for that.
Yeah,
And you ready to talk about anything else you wanted to add, or should we go ahead and talk about some college football playoffs?
yeah, yeah. Well, I was just gonna say it's a must-win game. That was the main thing I was gonna say.
It
Was
is.
it's
Oh yeah, yeah,
of course
yeah.
they got to win. They got to win these games at this point, just due to what happened in these last couple of games. They definitely
Right.
have to win this game. So it's a very important one, and obviously winnable. But right now, based on what we're seeing, from Atlanta, it's been rough. So I think that the opportunity is there. It's just capitalizing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, hopefully you'll be there to cheer him on to victory. And even though I know you can't really cheer in the press box, but that's okay. We'll see what the Bucks do. Hopefully, we'll get a
I'll be
victory.
rooting for him. I'll be rooting for him.
Yes. Okay. All right. As subtly as you can from the press box. But
Right.
meanwhile, let's talk about college football playoffs. I mean, at this point now, there's a lot of controversy over some of these picks. Some very interesting things happen. Now, if you take a look at the first round games are going to be happening December 19th and 20th. You've got James Madison at seed number 12 playing Oregon at seed number 5. And then also that
Which I'm
in those
happy
first
about.
round games, you got Alabama
My
at
JMU.
ninth seed. JMU, you're a JMU fan, right?
I'm a JMU fan. Yep. All my VA teams. Yes.
and also
I'll
you
be
do know
rooting
that
on.
JMU, speaking of JMU, they actually have hired former University of Florida Gators coach Billy Napier is going to be their new coach coming up next season. I don't believe that he's going to be doing anything. Maybe he'll be there for the game, but I don't think he's actually taking over quite
Right.
yet.
Right.
But
Yeah, I did hear
right.
about that. Yep.
hmm
Yep.
So that could
But
be
I'm happy
interesting to
for
see
them.
what
They made
happens.
it. They made it.
Yeah.
They made it
Well, it's
to a
great for
top
him.
spot.
Yeah. Yeah, should be a good opportunity for him and certainly a good coach for James Madison. But also Alabama coming off of their loss, to Ohio State in the SEC championship, they ended up with a 9 seed. They're going to be playing Oklahoma with the 8 seed. Tulane, meanwhile, with a number 11 seed, playing Ole Miss at number 6 seed, and the Miami Hurricanes kind of snuck in at the 10th seed, playing Texas A&M with the 7th seed. And the winner of the James Madison Oregon game will go on to face Texas Tech in the Orange Bowl. The quarterfinals games, by the way, these are all happening on December 31st or January 1st, depending on which bowl it is. So the James Madison Oregon winner will face Texas Tech in the Orange Bowl. The winner of the Alabama-Oklahoma game faces Indiana, the number 1 seed, in the Rose Bowl. Texas Tech, by the way, was the number 4 seed. Tulane, Ole Miss, the winner of that game will play Georgia. Georgia ended up at the number 3 seed. They'll play in the Sugar Bowl. Meanwhile, Miami Hurricanes, Texas A&M winner will face Ohio State. Ohio State, the number 2 seed, and that'll be the Cotton Bowl that'll be taking place. And then the winners of those games in the semifinals, those will be taking place on January 8th or January 9th, the Fiesta Bowl and the Peach Bowl. So we'll see how those shake out depending on who wins. And then the championship game will be held in Miami on January 19th. So what was interesting in all of this is that Notre Dame, this has been the talk that everyone's been talking about this, the fact that Notre Dame got left out of the college football playoffs. After Duke ended up upsetting Virginia. Sorry about that, Jermaine, but Duke did beat Virginia in overtime. An amazing game. I don't know if you happen to catch it. I was watching it because I'm a Duke fan, but amazing overtime victory for Duke beating Virginia. But what really threw everything for a loop. Did you have anything to add about that game? Were you watching it?
Yeah, I did. Well, I didn't get to watch it. I was actually at a Christmas party at the time. Okay. And I saw the scores. That's what I had texted you because I saw the scores.
Yes, and I was like, wow. That's right. You were texting me. Yeah. Yes. Yep. So, but with that game, it was interesting because Duke became the ACC champion, and yet the college football playoffs, when they have to basically seed the 5 highest ranked conference champions, decided to leave Duke out of the picture entirely. So even though Duke was a conference champ, they decided to take 2 of the group of 5 teams. They took Tulane, they took James Madison, put them in the playoffs. And what was even more surprising is they chose Miami, because all season, for the past several weeks, since the college football playoffs has been ranking all these different teams, Notre Dame has always been ranked usually a couple of spots ahead of Miami Hurricanes. And yet somehow, at the last minute, they decided to put the Miami Hurricanes in the college football playoffs and knock out Notre Dame.
Yeah.
So that was a big surprise. And what was even more surprising was that Notre Dame has then, after they didn't make the CFP, they announced, we're not participating in any bowl games. So Notre Dame is not going to be appearing in a bowl game at all this postseason. Also very surprising, but people have started to question, well, is Notre Dame being punished for not being part of a conference, for being independent? And, are other teams being somehow punished for playing in conference championships? Or, there's so many questions that have come up as a result of everything that happened. But anything that you had heard about the college football playoffs, or any controversies that you were aware of?
Yeah, so I mean, I was definitely hearing a lot. That's taken up a lot of the the sports headlines right now, and and I just didn't understand really what else the reason could be, for why they were left out. And it seemed like they just, on every aspect, they did what they were supposed to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. That's tough.
Well, it is. And certainly it's got to be tough for the college football playoffs committee. I mean, I know that it's to some extent, it could be a thankless job, I guess. And I think a lot of, there's a lot of controversy. Whatever they decide, someone's going to be upset, right? For every team that gets left out of the 12-team playoff system, the teams that are kind of finishing at number 13 or number 14 that are left out of the discussion just feel slighted somehow, I guess. So you're not going to make everybody happy. But if we kind of take a look at the games that are going to be happening, some of the other bowl games, I should say, they're going to be happening outside of the college football playoffs that we've just talked about. Going through the list of some of the games here in Florida, we got some great bowl games coming up. So we've got the Cure Bowl. It's going to be USF playing Old Dominion. That's happening Wednesday, December 17th at 5 o'clock p.m. over at Camping World Stadium. Gasparilla Bowl over at Raymond James in Tampa, home of the Bucks. They're playing Friday, December 19th at 2:30 p.m., Memphis versus NC State. Boca Raton Bowl is going to be happening Tuesday, December 23rd at 2 p.m. You got Toledo playing Louisville. The Pop-Tarts Bowl happening also at Camping World Stadium on Saturday, December 27th at 3:30 p.m. Georgia Tech versus BYU. That should be a great game. And besides Georgia Tech and BYU, you've also got, for the Pop-Tarts, Team Sprinkles versus Team Swirls. So six Pop-Tarts are actually going to be going head-to-head to see which one is going to be eaten. That's going to be a big battle, for the Pop-Tarts mascot. So stay tuned for that. A lot of people think that's going to be even more exciting maybe than the game itself. But I think Georgia Tech and BYU, I mean, you got 2 great teams there. So
people
both in the top 25.
People really look forward to that.
They do. I know the past couple of years, I mean, the social media presence for the Pop-Tarts Bowl is unbelievable. I mean, the mascot gets so many hits, so many views.
I think
it elevates that game.
A lot of bets on that. A lot of bets placed.
That you're probably right. Yeah, I mean, I wonder what Dave Portnoy is going to say about if his Pop-Tart doesn't win, is he going to call for a death threat to the Pop-Tarts? I'm not sure. It'll be interesting to see what happens. But Anyway, Gator Bowl also happening Saturday, December 27th at 7:30 p.m. That game up in Jacksonville at Everbank Stadium, home of the Jaguars. Missouri's going to be playing Virginia, your team there. So that'll be happening the 27th. Cheez-It Citrus Bowl happening on New Year's Eve, Wednesday, December 31st, actually at 3 p.m. At Camping World Stadium. And we've got Michigan playing Texas. That's going to be a huge game. Again, you got two top 25 teams. Texas just missing the college football playoffs. Arch Manning, of course, everyone's going to have their eyes on Arch Manning, see what he's able to do. And so that'll be a big game. And my understanding is that Prince Chedward will be making an appearance also, the return of Prince Chedward for the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. So stay tuned for that. And the Reliant. Okay. You excited about that, Jermaine?
Hey, I'm excited to see him. Actually, I am. I wouldn't say more excited than the Mannings though, because I know if Arch is going to be there. I think a couple of the other Mannings might show up too, make an appearance.
I'm assuming you're going to see Eli. I'm assuming you're going to see Peyton. You're probably going to see Cooper as well, and probably Arch Senior will be there. Grandpa Arch, so he'll be there too.
And that was on the 27th, right? The 27th.
Well, the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl is actually December 31st. Did you say the Pop-Tarts Bowl? That's the 27th.
Right, that's right.
The Citrus Bowl is December 31st. Yeah. Wednesday, December 31st, 3 p.m. will be the Citrus Bowl. Pop-Tarts, December 27th at 3:30. So stay tuned for both of those.
That's right.
At Camping World Stadium, yes.
So we should look at we should look at the coverage options on that. That'd be a good game.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, we'll definitely have Florida National News representing. I'm sure of that. And meanwhile, the ReliaQuest Bowl happening December 31st also at 12 noon at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. Vanderbilt playing Iowa there. And a couple of other interesting bowls. As kind of going through the list of all the bowl games, some interesting ones I'll just sort of mention. You got the LA Bowl hosted by Gronk. Thought that was kind of interesting that Rob Gronkowski is kind of involved in that now. And also Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl presented by Gin and Juice by Dre and Snoop. So I thought that was I think certainly the longest name for any of the bowl games happening this bowl season. But stay tuned for that one as well. Now, Jermaine, I know that you excited about that one, the Arizona one?
Well, no, I was just asking if that was the one. So I thought that was interesting. Okay, that's cool.
That's the one, the Snoop Dogg Bowl. Yeah, so stay tuned for that. And I know, Jermaine, you actually have to say goodbye to our viewers. So if you'd like to take a moment to do that or anything else you want to wrap up with, please feel free to do so.
Yes, thank you. No, that'll be it. I appreciate it. And, looking forward to Thursday night. Obviously, we got the Monday nighter, but definitely Monday night, Thursday night Bucks game. Looking to get a win for that. So stay tuned because I will have coverage on Florida National News Facebook page as well.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining us, Jermaine, and have a great rest of your night. Thank you, guys. Enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you. And of course, one more thing I'll mention, just since I've been talking about Yale, I guess. Yale was knocked out of the FCS the football championship subdivision playoffs by Montana State. So it's the end of their season. But at least my Duke Blue Devils did manage to make become the ACC champions, and they'll be playing against Arizona State in the Sun Bowl on December 31st. So stay tuned for that. But let's also talk about NBA. We're going to go ahead and bring on our resident NBA expert, and we're going to be back with the NBA in just a moment. Stay tuned for more FNN Sports Zone. We're going to take a 30-second commercial break. We'll be right back.
At Duke Energy, we deliver electricity and so much more, like free home energy assessments, rebates for energy-saving improvements, payment options to help you better manage your budget, and even bill credits for helping the community use less energy. So no matter what you're doing, we can help you make better energy choices every day. It's just another way we bring power to your life. How much can you?
The Florida Lottery is proud to support education by contributing billions of dollars to Florida schools and awarding countless Bright Future scholarships so Florida students can do more than just dream of a brighter future. They can create one. Learn more at flalottery.com.
And welcome back to the Fnn Sports Zone. Joining me this evening, we have Sebastian, our resident NBA and soccer expert. So, Sebastian, I know it's good to have you back on the show. Thank you for joining us.
Glad to be back. I know I've been gone a while, but work. You gotta do what you gotta do. But I'm back. I'm excited to be here. I got a couple things to talk about: soccer, basketball. So let's get right into it. Inter Miami, congratulations to them. They won the MLS Cup, their first ever MLS Cup title. They defeated the Vancouver Whitecaps FC 3-1, and that was in Fort Lauderdale. So congratulations to them. It happened this past Saturday. Super excited for them. Lionel Messi was named the MLS Cup Finals MVP, and that further added to his large array of achievements, and that further cemented him as the GOAT. That's just for me. What you have anything you want to say about that? Or?
Oh, Messi's the GOAT. There's no question about it. So it's exciting to see that happening. Yeah, that's great.
Right.
That's great.
Another announcement from MLS. Big announcement actually. I'm sorry.
Speaking chair.
Actually,
sorry.
While we're at it, huge shout out to Naomi Garcia in the back. She killed it with the StreamYard. So big shout out to her. She's
Yes.
been doing it great here at FNN. So shout out to her. Killing it, out there destroying teams. Like they show no mercy to these teams, and they're having 29 this game, and I'm gonna take over. So that's exactly what he did. That's
Right.
exactly what you got to do. Jamal Murray named Western Conference Player of the Week with a stellar set of performances. So congratulations to him. And then on the other end, Jaylen Brown with the Eastern Conference Player of the Week after averaging 34, 7, and 6 to help Boston win multiple games this past week. So very good for them. Do you have anything you want to add with the NBA before I get into Miami Heat and Magic?
No, let's talk Heat and Magic. Let's jump into that.
Do it.
Let's
so
do
I'll
that.
just go over a quick run through of the games. We had a W. Miami Heat had a win versus the Clippers.
Yep.
123-140. An L versus the Mavs. Unfortunately, they lost 108-118. A loss versus the Magic, which it's not a loss for me. That's a win. But 105-106. Close game. I was there. It was a very close game. Very fun game to watch. A loss versus the Kings, 127-111. And in the Clippers game, they actually had a franchise tying record, 24 threes made in the game. So that's very exciting for them. Very good to see that, their offense is working. Let's see if it works tomorrow. We'll talk about tomorrow in a little bit. Norman Powell had 30 points and he was 6 for 10 for 3. And that's incredible. He shot out the gym. He was incredible. And then Bam Adebayo had 27 points and 14 rebounds. So congratulations to them on that Clippers W. Let's see what happens on the upcoming games. Magic, that's my team. Let's talk about them. We got a W versus the Bulls, 120-125. We lost to the Spurs, which I was at that game. Let me tell you, I don't think it was a foul. That it was like a last few seconds, and I think it was De'Aaron Fox that went up for a shot, and Jonathan Isaac had his hands up. He touched the ball down and had his hands up here. There's no point where that was a foul initiated from what I saw. I know there's NBA experts and refs and all that, but I was there. I saw it with my own eyes. No, that's not. Unfortunate end to that game, but we had a W versus the Heat. We already talked about it. 105-106, and loss versus the Knicks. Which, speaking of the Knicks game, unfortunately, Franz Wagner had a high ankle sprain. He'll be out for 2 to 4 weeks, which I'm thankful for. Unfortunately, he likely won't be able to play for that NBA Cup game tomorrow. But it's good to hear that it's not a season-ending injury or anything like that. Because when he came down, I was worried. I remember I saw it on YouTube. I was like, oh gosh, we just got Paolo. We just
came back on Friday.
Just came back.
That's right.
And Mo Wagner coming back soon. So that's the most important thing in basketball is just staying healthy. So let's hope that he comes back healthy, ready to go. Also, Suggs left the game limping as well, grabbing his upper leg groin. So hopefully he could be ready for tomorrow's game. Hopefully it's not too serious and he could be, because Suggs, my favorite player on the Magic, he really brings the energy. Yeah. He initiates defense. He initiates the crowd. Like, he gets the crowd involved whenever it's a home game, and he elevates everybody else's game he doesn't have to score too much. He just has to be that X factor of being a good defender. A good defender, a good just all-around talker, initiating the energy, so that's very important. You might not have to score, but just having that energy and having that high level,
Yep.
I wanted to mention too, for the Bulls game, the first was on this past Monday. Bane had 37 points versus the Bulls. He had 18 points in the fourth quarter to help them win the game. So that was an incredible game by Bane. So talking about the Magic and the Heat, we got an NBA Cup game tomorrow, quarterfinals, Miami versus Orlando, here at the Kia Center tomorrow at 6 p.m. So y'all let us know. Let us know in the comments. Are you guys going to pop out? Are you guys going to show up? Let us know in the comments. See what's going to happen.
Yes.
Me personally, I got to go with the Magic. That's my team. But I'm excited to see. I hope it's a good game. You always want to see these high-level games with the NBA Cup. You want to make sure that it's a good game and that it's high energy. They're playing for cash, right?
They're playing for cash. I mean, the winner actually is guaranteed to get at least $100,000, while the loser. No, actually, no. Let me think about this. So I think if they lose, there won't be any cash. I think if they win, then they're locked in at least $50,000. And then, of course, if they make it to the next round, $100,000. The round after that, if they make to the championship, then the loser of the championship gets $200,000+, and the winner gets over $500,000. So,
and that's per player or
per player. That's per player. That's per player.
Y'all better win.
So yeah, there's a lot of money at stake. Especially
Right.
the winner of the NBA Cup is, each player is going home with over $500,000. So yes, a lot of money at stake there. So we're hoping that Orlando will actually get past.
And
the
correct
Heat.
me if I'm wrong too. Don't they get like home advantage during the actual finals, or is that?
I think it depends on the seeding. So they have to look at, there are several different issues there.
Right,
But so
okay.
the good news is the Orlando Magic do have the top seed. So that's why
Right.
they're hosting the game tomorrow night. And then of course, depending what happens with the Knicks playing the Raptors, that will then determine who goes on to the next round, who goes on to Vegas. And also what's interesting is the losing teams, if the Magic don't win tomorrow, hopefully they win, but if they
Right.
don't, then there will be a game either on the 14th or 15th. If the Knicks lose, then the Knicks would play the Magic in New York
Right.
at Madison Square Garden. If the Raptors lose, then the Magic will host the Raptors on the 15th, and that would be a regular
interesting.
season
That's
game.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the losers, will kind of play regular season games here locally, either in Orlando or New York, depending on what happens. And then, but basically, early next week, you'll have the two rounds of games happening in Vegas,
Okay.
where you'll have essentially the Final Four, the two winning teams from the East versus the two winning teams from the West, and then they will meet, I believe, on the 18th, going head-to-head for the championship.
Sounds good.
Mhm.
Sounds great.
All right,
Excited to see
stay
what
tuned for
happens,
that.
For sure.
Yeah, and also for the Magic, too, I got to give props to Paolo Banchero and Tristan Da Silva, who actually took a bunch of the kids from the Boys and Girls Clubs of Central Florida out for a shopping spree for
That's
the holidays.
awesome. I didn't see
Isn't that cool?
That's cool. That's really
So
cool.
there is some video that's online of them doing that, and I know a bunch of kids got an opportunity to kind of run around and get exactly what they wanted. They all got their little gift cards with,
That's
I
so
believe,
cool.
about
That's a dream come
$225 a piece. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Really great. Some great interactions with the kids and the players, and so it's always nice to see them doing that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
And so props to those guys, Caro and Da Silva. But anything else that you're looking forward to with this game coming up on Tuesday against the Heat?
We'll talk about it next week. Well, I
Yeah.
hope it ends with a win, and that we could talk about a win for the Magic. So let's see what happens. Let's see what's gonna go down, and I'll be back next week. We could talk about it. I'll either be super happy, or you'll see me like,
well,
the Magic lost.
let's hope we're all happy.
Right?
So with that being said, we are getting ready to wrap up the Fnn Sports Zone. But thank you very much for joining us. And Sebastian, if you'd like to say goodbye to our fans again, I'm Mike Brodsky.
I'm Sebastian Yepes. You guys take care. You guys have a blessed night and a blessed week. We'll see you guys next week.
Absolutely. Stay tuned for more Fnn Sports Zone next Monday at 6:30. We'll be back next week.
At Duke Energy, we deliver electricity and so much more, like free home energy assessments, rebates for energy-saving improvements, payment options to help you better manage your budget, and even bill credits for helping the community use less energy. So no matter what you're doing, we can help you make better energy choices every day. It's just another way we bring power to your life. How much can you save?